So everything has changed. Everything has changed, okay? That's why I'm saying bring your children, your grandchildren, your aunts, your nieces, bring them here and let them hear this presentation. This presentation is free, and they get a full understanding about this quantum field that's going to be every single place that they go. The world is expanding on this thing. Things that were questionable, people didn't know, they were trying to figure out, all of a sudden they are clear. They become very clear because scientists are sharing the information with us. Now, they didn't just find out, they've been knowing, but now it is spilled out into the open, and we've been able to see the scientific procedures that they use to be able to prove that matter can go through walls, and that matter can turn into a wave, into energy, and energy can turn into matter. All those things are possible. Now, for years we were taught this is how a atom looks, right? This is the model we saw in school. Now, this has nothing to do with how an atom looks for real. They drew this because they're trying to give us to be able to get us to conceive what it means, what an atom means. But this is how an atom looks. It's really just is waves. It's waves, it's energy. That's what it is. It's pulsating energy. Now, so an atom is what we're made out of, and what this microphone is made out of. Everything else is made out of atoms. We are made of 50 trillion atoms, okay? That's our body is made out of 50 trillion atoms. So we're 50 trillion of these pulsating things. You might say, well, why aren't I seeing you pulsate? Because you don't, because it's not clear to the common eye, just a regular eye, naked eye, to see us pulsate. Now, everything continues to move. Everything is vibrating. Even dead people are vibrating. Somebody said, well, how is that? Well, you know what? I this one preacher, his name is, I can't call his name right now, but anyway, he's famous. He passed recently. He said the reason why, how you can know that dead people are still moving is because their body is deteriorating. If they weren't moving, their body wouldn't deteriorate. Their body wouldn't decay, because that's what that is. It's movement. It's decay, right? I'll get his name soon. So this is what we are made of. We are made of oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, and nitrogen. Our body, if you had a giant microscope and looked at us, we would look just like this, because we are atoms. So what they found out, that atoms, the subatomic particles, like what atoms are made out of, can pass through walls. So if the subatomic particles can pass through walls, that means the whole particle can pass through walls, right? And they found that out they've been bringing more and more science to the forefront and found that out. We are quantum. We match the quantum field. We are made of the same thing the quantum field is made out of. Now, what is the quantum field? It's everything around us. Move your hands around, and I want you to grab something out of the quantum field and bring it to you. How many times have you called things to you that came? How many times have you spoke something into existence? How many times have you had faith for something to come to you and it showed up? How did it come? It came out of what appears to be nothing, right? But what we have around us in this quantum field is unmanifested reality. Unmanifested reality with infinite potential. Infinite potential and unmanifested reality is what we have. Because when we make a decision that we have had enough, we may say, I've never had the strength to do that. But all of a sudden, you get to a certain point, you say, I've got enough. And you start moving yourself, right? And saying things about to change. And you call those things that be not as though they were. And isn't that exactly what you're doing? Bringing in something that doesn't exist, right? Into your physical world by your words. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. So here's some quantum terms you should know. I'm almost done, but I want you to know these three terms: superposition, quantum entanglement, and quantum tunneling. Superposition means that you can, let me go back. Superposition means that you can be in more than one place at the same time. Now, the one person we know is omnipresent is God. He's everywhere. But we see it all through the scripture, and even in our own life, where we've been able to tell somebody what they did and we weren't even there. You know, when Gehazi went after Naaman and he told Naaman, oh, my master decided he do want that gold you had, and he do want those nice garments you had. And Naaman gave it to him. But when Gehazi got back, Elijah said, where have you been? He said, oh, I'm just messing around here. He said, no, what didn't my heart go with you when you went after Naaman and you got those things that from Naaman that I told you, that I told him we wouldn't accept? He said, now, you know, the leprosy that was on Naaman is going to cleave to you. And then he immediately became leprous. Superposition, being in more than one place at this time. How many times have you felt something? Parents, a lot of times with parents, they can feel something when something happens with their child. They can feel it because you know what? They're there. They're there. That's, well, actually, that's quantum entanglement. That's quantum entanglement when you can feel something that somebody else is experiencing that you care about, right? You care about them. So you're entangled with them. And sometimes you can be entangled with people that are no good. No good. With quantum entanglement, they found that when one atom moves, the other one moves. One goes up, the other one goes down. They far away. They could be light years away, but they're still entangled. That is exactly what happens when we are connected to somebody that we love with a deep love. We feel them. They don't even have to say anything to us. We can feel them, right? Because we entangled with them. And then quantum tunneling is basically like Jesus walking through walls. It's like matter going through walls. Like, how is that happening? But they actually have proved all of these in the laboratory, that a particle couldn't be in more than one place at the same time. Even Jesus said, they said, we need to go and see Lazarus and pray for Lazarus. He said, look, Lazarus is dead. How did he know that? Because he was there. He know. And then when he told the centurion, go home, your daughter is healed. He was there. He was in that place. And didn't Jesus say, the things that I do, you should do those things and even greater? He said that to us. The thing is, we have to learn how to tap into our power. And we've been so long trying to find out, how do I get a consistent movement in my spirit, consistent revelation, consistent manifestation? What do I need to do to get that? We've so long have questioned that. Well, you know, God has always said to us, have faith and you could do it, right? But now in the laboratories, they're saying, look, we can do it too. Okay. And it's not necessary for us to have faith to do it. We can do it because it's scientific method, the scientific methods we use show that what God said is absolutely true. You call those things that be not as though they were. It said, you know, with the heart man believes, right? With the mouth he confesses, but with his heart he believes, and then he shall be saved. And as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. How does that happen? He's bringing things to himself, right? He's pulling things his way. And this is what they found out. You can change the outcome of reality just through observation. That's just what Greg Braden was just talking about, mirror neurons. You can change your own reality through observation. By seeing other people do something, you can get the ability to do it. Now, I know some of y'all say, how in the world does that happen? I know, but keep with me, stay with me, because once you understand it, once you learn it and understand it, you'll be able to take it somewhere, okay? Now, your energy attracts your reality. This is, in 1986, this guy, Rene Peacock, conducted a most astonishing experiment to show how telekinesis, influencing objects at a distance by the power of the mind. And he used newly hatched chickens and a specially made robot. Well, this robot has like a little ink pen on the bottom of it, and they, you know, put the battery in and send it out, and it just moved all by itself. And they get lines all over the paper, because the machine just was moving randomly around. Then they had these baby chicks. As soon as the chicks were born, they put them in the room with the robot. And baby chicks believe that the first thing they see is their parent, their mother. So they like, you know, got on with that. Okay, you are mother. They were sticking with them. So, and everything, everywhere the robot went, they was following them around, right? Then all of a sudden they took the chickens and put them in a cage. And once they put the chickens in a cage, the robot was still roaming around, and the chickens, through their energy, caused the robot to be drawn to where they were. And he has done this experiment over and over again, and then the robot just stays right around where the chickens are. The chickens are using their energy to draw things to them. And that's just the law of attraction. But sometimes we think we're the special ones with the ability to have law of attraction, when in reality, it's all through nature. It's all through nature. It's all through all of us. And we all have that ability. That's this one study. And you can look that study up, okay? Because I didn't type none of this. All this was here, Support Health Clinic, Renee, catch her name, look it up. You can see the whole experiment, because I looked at it. And then here's another thing. Scientists in October 2023 in the Popular Mechanics magazine said your consciousness can connect with the whole universe. They said they used to think that all of our consciousness stayed inside of our head. Now they know that that's not the case, that your consciousness leaves out of your head and it affects things that are around you. And not only that, it can also connect with the whole universe. So you think that what you're thinking is just you thinking that by yourself, and it's affecting everybody around you, and you don't even recognize it because you've never been taught that that's what's happening. In fact, if you read this article, it said, when we imagine, what if it's covered up with the picture, but when we imagine what if scenarios, when we say, what if I had a new red Cadillac? And we see ourselves driving that red Cadillac, they say you're actually driving that Cadillac in another dimension. In the article, they say in another universe, but I'm going to use the word dimension because I'm comfortable with dimension, okay? So in another dimension of who you are, you're actually driving that car. Now, how can that car get in your physical reality? First of all, you got to never lose sight of it, just like the chickens. They never lost sight of that robot, right? Because that's like our mother. We need her over here with us. So they drew that to them into their reality with their own energy. And that's exactly what quantum field, quantum mechanics, quantum physics teaches. And it shows that in the laboratory that we draw things to us with our thoughts. You have to understand your thoughts have power because everything is quantum. No matter where if you're in a house by yourself and you're spending time thinking, you are affecting other people. And you may not think you are, but you're part of a larger field of consciousness. We all are part of it. So but we've never been taught that. They never taught us this. This was this important. Why is it that we don't know it? Well, the same reason why we don't know how to, fly a rocket to the moon, because we never learned it. Nobody ever taught us, right? We never was exposed to it. This is giving you exposure. And it's very elementary here, primary teaching I'm giving you. But you're going to see when you leave out of this session alone, you're going to start seeing it everywhere. And you're going to also recognize, if you pay attention to it and you accept what I'm saying is true, you'll start seeing it operating in your own life, okay? Because everybody, all of us are quantum. And because of that, the whole world, the world governments they are all in a race. They had the arms race before. Now they got a quantum race. All over the world, different countries are fighting for quantum supremacy. What is quantum supremacy? It's being able to have a computer that is so powerful that it can break any code, that it can answer any question. Right now, Google has a quantum computer, and they said they had quantum supremacy, which they did at that time, but somebody superseded them since then. But their quantum computer could solve a problem in 200 seconds that it takes a supercomputer down in the Defense Department, the U.S. Defense Department. Their supercomputers, which is always running, always calculating, it would take that supercomputer 10,000 years to answer the question that quantum computer answered in 200 seconds. That's why you see this race going on. That's why they're racing for it, because they realize whoever has quantum supremacy will rule the world. That's what's going to happen, because they have the ability to answer every question, break every code. No more with passwords. Passwords won't work, okay? No kind of code. They got these different codes, like nuclear codes, all that stuff. It will be able to be wiped away by anybody who gets quantum supremacy. So I know our governor here in Illinois just asked for $500 million to fund quantum computing in our state, because he wants to be able to make our state a hub for it. Why? Because the world is chasing after it, right? Because the world realizes everything is quantum. Everything is quantum. And if we don't take advantage of the opportunity that's before us, we will be left behind. I'm reminded of my grandfather, my great-grandfather. He was born in 1895. So in 1903, when the Wright brothers flew their first flight, he was alive. He was 8 years old, and I know it was a marvel for him to see, right? And also when they went to the moon, when the United States went to the moon and walked, the first man to walk on the moon, he didn't believe that happened. He never believed that man walked on the moon. His mind wouldn't allow him to believe that was even possible, because he said, it's not in any of my teaching, any of my learning, any of my experience. So it's not real. I'm telling you, it's real. And how are they doing all these fantastic super inventions? Is they are using their quantum abilities to do it. They are not doing it with natural strength. We're busy still trying to make a fire with two sticks, and they've gone on. They're inventing, creating, advancing in a way that we've never seen before. And that's why the world is chasing it. That's why the world is racing after it. There's been such an advancement in science and technology that it will blow your mind. Okay. Eyes have not seen. We have not seen what's about to happen, what's happening right now. But here's what to do now. Number one, ignorance is not free. Okay. So learn the language. Number two, learn the principles. Number three, learn how to use the power. Those are the three things you need to learn, because ignorance is not free. It is not free. And you know what? You will pay a price for being ignorant. So learn the language, learn the principles, and learn the power. I'm going to share with you right now the language of the quantum field. Okay. And here's the thing too, I wanted to just bring out that every one of us can do this, right? Because we all have this treasure within our earthen vessels. That's what Paul said. It's a treasure, and we have it within our earthen vessels. So learn the language. Number one, thoughts. Okay? Your thoughts is the language of the quantum field. So if you think you can't or you think you can, you are correct. Because thoughts are the language of the quantum field. When I embraced this one frame of thinking, my whole life changed. And my family probably don't even know how in the world did she get all those changes. I was always in church, Holy Ghost preacher woman, right? It wasn't until 2014 that I actually ever had any money, right, worth talking about, of my own. Didn't have a house, didn't have a car that was my own. I was driving a car, but it wasn't mine. I couldn't decide what I was going to do with it when I got through driving it. I didn't own a home or anything, but everything changed for me at 2014. And one of the things I found deep and abiding love. I was able to attract the man of my dreams, somebody who loves me and takes care of me and protects me and wants to push me as far as I can go and support me all along the way. I unlocked my greatest potential. All of a sudden, the scriptures became clear to me. I began to understand things that beyond the surface I had not understood before. I created unmatched wealth. That's when I got my first I got a brand new BMW first, and then I got a brand new Bentley, both in the same year. And then I bought my house for cash in the same year. And this is the house, and that's the Bentley. This is not the Bentley. This is a picture of another Bentley. Okay, because my Bentley was a drop top, baby. Drop top. Okay. So I got a picture of it, but I should put it in here. So I created unmatched wealth. That's the first year I made over $350,000, right? I had never made that kind of money. I was driving a Bentley, bought my own house. All that stuff had this knowledge, this wisdom. I won public endorsement as a state senator again, and I changed the trajectory of my life. And that's what made me walk away from the Senate. Nobody wins a 4-year term and in January go through the inauguration, and then January 31st leave and never come back. I did that. I had a 4-year term, and people kept saying, oh, the FBI must be after us. Something's going on. We're going to find out. No, I just feel this calling so in my soul that God's people, if anybody get this knowledge, it should be God's people, because we have prayed, we have fasted, we've given everything that we have, we've labored, and didn't faint. We kept going even in the face of all kinds of adversities and all kinds of things that seem too confusing to even understand. We kept going. So I believe that we deserve this knowledge. So what was the one frame of thinking that I had? I learned the quantum language. And didn't even know what it was, okay? Didn't know what it was. What I decided was that no matter what happens to me, this is when in 2013, when I didn't have a car, didn't have a house, didn't have hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank, wasn't married, none of that stuff, okay? Hadn't written a book, none of that, okay? I decided that no matter what happened to me, I was going to be grateful. And I wasn't even married either at that time. I said, I'm going to be grateful no matter what happens. However it show up, I'm going to be grateful. However it don't show up, I'm going to be grateful. Whatever happens, whoever comes, whoever goes, I'm going to be grateful. Everything that happens to me, I'm going to celebrate. Do you know that's quantum language? Because you draw to you what you are. You draw to you what you think about, what you focus on. I looked for something to be grateful for in every situation. And that was quantum language. And that's why I kept getting the wealth that I got, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. I got like 7 or 8 houses, probably more than that, 8 houses now. can drive any car I want, got a husband that supports me 1,000%, and walked away from the Senate with a 4-year term ahead of me, and walked away, didn't even have an opponent, because of I learned something that I want people to understand.